Hello and welcome to the United Stand. The big debate, who will be Manchester United's next number 10? It's funny, it's interesting, it's exciting because when you think about it, Mourinho said we're not signing any more attackers in January, and we all pretty much knew in January that Zlatan was going to go. But now that he has gone, I'm actually far more excited about this. I actually think that there will be an attacker brought in the summer at Manchester United because the landscape has changed so dramatically since January. Lingard, Messi Lingard in January. How consistent is Lingard? I mean, let's be honest. All these goals he scored are against mid-table lower league teams. He doesn't really turn up in the big games. Very inconsistent since January. Mata, there's talk that he might go. Martial, could he go? Some people say he's inconsistent. Rashford, not a number 10, not really a winger. Lukaku's a striker. Sanchez, not settled in. Is that enough to go into next season with? I think there'll be an attacker. That number 10 shirt is wide open. Who's going to wear the number 10 shirt? Even if we're not going to sign somebody who could wear it within the club at the moment. So, loads of things. Angel Gomez says SAF 2008. I wouldn't mind that. Dybala says Ronak. Pogba says Gorty 1231. Fellaini says Josh Peters. Well, you never know. But we'll be talking about that. I want your opinions as well. But it's interesting as well, isn't it, that I remember doing shows around September time. I think it was me and Ross were talking on one show, and I think I mentioned it because it was a really good point. So it obviously was me. And I said that number 10, Zlatan's wearing number 10. It's very obvious that he is the number 10 solution. Now, you think about United this season, we've struggled for that. Number 10, traditional number 10 is somebody who's behind the number 9, linking the midfield and the attack. We've not really had one at United for about 3 or 4 years. Rooney was really poor at it. Kagawa didn't work out. Mata's never been given the opportunity. Mkhitaryan didn't work out. Lingard's not a number 10. We've never had a number 10, which is why I think we went to 4-3-3, so you don't have a number 10. And I think Zlatan was given the number 10 shirt because that is the job that Mourinho foresaw him doing. Obviously, that changed a lot when he came back in November time. Just wasn't the player, didn't have the pace, didn't have the touch anymore, and that experiment ended. But it's really interesting when you think that Zlatan was highlighted as being our number 10 solution, the man behind the number 9 who links the midfield and the attack, something United have really struggled with. And I can hear people saying, well, that's what we bought Alexis Sanchez for. But did we? Did we buy Alexis Sanchez for that? Because he's hardly played as a number 10 at all. The vast majority of the time, he's played as a left winger. So who is our number 10? If we play a number 10 at the moment, do you know our number 10 is Lingard? Jose Lingard is our number 10. He's the one who plays that position more than anybody when we actually do play the 4-2-3-1 with a number 10. Jose Lingard. The man who, if there's not space that he spins into and runs into it, has got zero else to his game. He's got no intricacy. He's got no build-up play. He's not very good at passing. Lingard's a winger. I think Lingard is a very good winger. He's very good, and he had success around December, January time with his Messi Lingard period when he was playing teams that were allowing him to spin and turn into space. But then again, when you come up against Southampton or decent European sides, you can't spin and turn because there's a centre defensive midfielder there who is switched on, and they've got a back four that's switched on because they're a better team. So Lingard's not a number 10, but that seems to be Mourinho's solution for that position at the moment. And you need a number 10. You can't just play 4-3-3. You've got to have somebody who can play that position. Now, I've always felt Mata, but we'll have to see about that. But if we're going to bring people in, who are the realistic options for Manchester United to bring in this summer? And when I say realistic, all bets are off. We've seen what United can do in the transfer window. With Pogba, they can go and get somebody that people think you can't get. We were in the Europa League. We were going into the Europa League when we got Pogba, not the Champions League. And Real Madrid wanted him, and Manchester United got him. It was a big deal. Milos Kircic says Dybala. Well, that's the first one I want to talk about, Dybala, because he is your quintessential, archetypal, identikit number 10. Absolutely perfect in that position, Dybala. Behind the number 9, behind what will be Lukaku next season. String puller, dictator, magician, master of what all he purveys, and the man who links the midfield with the attack. Why do United struggle this season? Because we can't link the midfield with the attack quick enough. And Dybala in that position would be very good. Is Dybala going to leave Juventus? Well, as people will know from That's Football, I watch a lot of Serie A. There's two people from Serie A I want to talk about, and I want to take your comments as well. Abdullah Khan has mentioned Griezmann, which is a very interesting one. Seth Ramirez says Andreas Pereira. A year ago, Pereira would have been a good option, but we'll come back to him. So, Dybala, will he leave Juventus? He will leave Juventus at some point. Will he leave this summer? Potentially. Will he leave before the World Cup? Probably not. Karan Bansai's just said, why don't you need a number 10 in a 4-3-3 formation? What about Sanchez? Somebody can wear the number 10 shirt, Karan, but the number 10 position is somebody who stands in behind the number 9. You don't. That's not what 4-3-3 is. 4-3-3. That would be 4-3. 4-3. One wide man, one number 10, and one forward. 4-3-3 is 3 midfielders, 3 attackers, with 2 of the attackers wide and 1 number 9. Number 10 would fall in between that, so that's why you don't get one in a 4-3-3. You could adapt it, but you'd lose width or you'd lose a midfielder, and then you're not playing a 4-3-3. Dybala, Juventus, will he leave? Will he leave before the World Cup? I don't think so. If he goes after the World Cup and he has a good World Cup, his price will be vastly inflated. What would he cost at the moment? I think 150 million. Get rid of a lot of your transfer budget if you go for him. But Pogba gets on with Dybala. There's been those few messages before. I think United would be interested, but I've always felt Dybala will go to Real Madrid or Barcelona if he leaves Juventus. And if I'm being totally honest, I think he'll stay at Juventus for another year. Icardi from Inter Milan has been linked with bloody Chelsea. Makes me sick. Can Icardi play as a number 10? Yes. Is he more of a number 9? Yes. Will we get Icardi this summer? I very much doubt it. Would I like Icardi at Manchester United? Yes. Definitely would. Leader, hothead, aggressive, exactly what United need. I would love to bring Icardi to Manchester United. I would sack off Lukaku for it. That's how much I rate this guy. But I don't see him coming to United because he's not really... He's a goal scorer. His goals records that he's got for Inter Milan this season is phenomenal. He can play in behind. He can play in a 4-3-3 and not be the number 9 like Lukaku is. But I can't see United going for a striker, a high-profile striker, when we've got Lukaku. I think we do need another striker, but I can't see us going for someone as high-end as Icardi. And, if he comes to the Premier League and he does go to Chelsea, I'll be really, really frustrated by that because I think he's a great, great player. Hopefully he'll end up going to Real Madrid. But he's a character and a half, John Sherrell. I would love Icardi to come to Manchester United, but I just can't see it. He's a pure number 9, like Tabish Tariq says, and we're not in the market for a number 9. We've got Lukaku, and whether you think Lukaku's ultimately good enough to win titles in Champions Leagues or not, he's had a good season, and we're not going to be looking for that. Easy C130 says Mourinho has got good connections at Inter. Yes, he has, but it didn't get us Perisic, did it? Jesse Lingard, a long-term number 10. I'd rather chop my leg off, says AM24. And Andrew Southwick says Icardi was my number 1 I wanted player last year. Same. I think Icardi and Fabinho were the 2 I really wanted last summer after Griezmann fell through. Snap says, don't forget to follow United Stand on Twitter. Never forget to follow us on Twitter, that's a good point. Griezmann is the 3rd one. So we've spoken Dybala, we've spoken Icardi, we're talking about United's next number 10, Griezmann. Well, Griezmann's come out on the international break. This international break is the worst of the lot, or the best of the lot for news, because things happen. And Griezmann has said that he wants his future resolved before the World Cup, which is interesting because it's sort of hypocritical because his contract that kicks in at the moment, I think his release clause is still 200 million or something like that. It drops back down to 89 million, but it doesn't do that till early July. Well, the World Cup kicks off in June, so I don't know how Griezmann can resolve his future before the World Cup when the £89 million release clause doesn't kick in till July. Of course, hypothetically, there can be an agreement. Griezmann can say he's going to go. Atletico Madrid can say thanks for staying another year. And Barcelona can just get him for the 89 million that they'd pay in July anyway. But it resolves his future. Some people seem to think he might stay at Atletico Madrid. Some people have now said, could he come to Manchester United? Well, Griezmann, again, a bit like Dybala, he would be perfect behind Lukaku. And he can play a 4-3-3, if you want to do a 4-3-3. He can come inside behind Lukaku. I assumed we were getting Griezmann up until we signed Alexis Sanchez, and I still would welcome him at the club, but I just cannot see that happening now. But, number 10, he likes to wear number 7, doesn't he? We're getting into Egoville now, aren't we? Because you've got players who want specific numbers, and we know that 7's gone, so Griezmann's not going to come to United, is he? So I can't see Griezmann wearing the number 10 shirt. Other outsiders away from Dybala, Icardi and Griezmann as potentially signing a new number 10. Well, you've got Forsberg, Emil Forsberg. You've got potentially Christian Eriksen. There are options. Pulisic maybe from, although I don't think Mourinho will go near him because he's well under 20. Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale is Manchester United's next number 10. You know, if you believe what's going on around Real Madrid at the moment, Bale will be sold. Where's Bale going to go? I think Bale will want to come back to England because where is there after Real Madrid? PSG? Really? Italy? They can't afford him. So his only real route is England. People have mentioned Chelsea, but he's played for Spurs. Would that work? Man City, I can't see Pep wanting him. And suddenly, you're really left with Manchester United or Liverpool. Is Gareth Bale going to go to Liverpool? Is he going to really take a step down that much? Manchester United's the obvious option for Gareth Bale. Can he play as a number 10? Well, he's not a traditional number 10. No, he's not Dybala. He's not Griezmann. He's not intricate. He's not got, the ability to have the ball into feet and pop it off here, there and everywhere like your traditional number 10. He's a winger. So, could he be the number 10? Yes, he could. Is he the traditional number 10? No, he isn't. If Bale is fit, he's different class, says Joe Shergy. Pulisic is just about to turn 20, says Andrew Southwick. I still think he's way too young. I don't think Mourinho will go near him. I would. James Rodriguez or Asensio, says Antoine Muller. Outsiders, but definitely both very good players. Rodriguez, I think if we wanted Rodriguez, we would have got Rodriguez last summer when his agents, Jose Mourinho's agents in George Mendes. So if we wanted him, we could have got him. Isco, says Danish. Yep, interesting. And Bale will go to PSG and Neymar will go to Real Madrid. You heard it here first, says DJ Shael. Well, he could go PSG. What about Muller? Thomas Muller, says Tabish Tariq. I think Thomas Muller was always a Louis van Gaal signing, and I don't think he's Mourinho's sort of player. Bale on his day is devastating, says Akash. I'm a big fan of Gareth Bale. I understand why people don't want him because of the injury record, but Gareth Bale on his day is still one of the top 5 players in the world. Why would you not want that? It's just whether he'd be suitable for us. Give Madrid De Gea, get Isco and Bale, says Chuck Ossel. And Sanchez can play number 10 role and put Bale to the left wing, says Love Joshi. Well, that brings us to the next things. You can talk about solutions as to whether we're going to sign a number 10. And I know Mourinho said in January we're not going to sign an attacker. But I think, as I've said numerous times this week, that Manchester United are a different team to what they were in January. We won every game in January, more or less, apart from the Spurs one at the end. We signed Spurs, we signed Sanchez, and as a fan base and as a manager, he was in a very strong position. We were very happy, and he got his new contract. And he was like, I will only sign 2 players in the summer. And I'm sure at that time, that's exactly what he thought he was going to do. But since then, we've struggled to create chances. We've struggled to score goals. We've been knocked out of the Champions League embarrassingly. The fans have turned against him a bit. And I think Mourinho needs to have a long, hard look at that attack line. Because when he said that in January, let's not forget, Pogba's form hadn't gone through the floor. Martial's form hadn't gone through the floor. And everybody mentions Sanchez, the signing of Sanchez ruining Martial and Pogba, which it has. But also, another player who should get mentioned is Jesse Lingard. Since Sanchez came, Lingard's been rubbish as well. Lingard was really good December and January. We signed Alexis Sanchez and Lingard's form's gone through the roof. So, through the ceiling, through the cellar. So that's 3 players for United. And I think Mourinho might look at that and think, God, maybe I will need to go into the attack market this summer. And I suspect we will. I'm quite encouraged by that because I don't want us to be boxed off. If an opportunity comes for United in the summer for an attacker, they should go and get one. But if he doesn't, if Mourinho is true to his word and he doesn't sign anybody, what prospects does that leave us for that number 10 shirt next season? Because someone will occupy it. Well, Lukaku's number 9. Would he want number 10? I doubt it. Martial's number 11. Would he be a good number 10? He may want number 10. He may not want number 10. Lingard as a number 10. I mean, to me, that is number 10. You've got to have a certain sort of credibility and skill level to you. And for me, Jesse Lingard is a good squad player, but he's not in Manchester United number 10, and that would be scary if we gave it to him. Rashford number 10. Yeah, maybe. Mata number 10, he's always going to be number 8 if he stays anyway. Pogba number 10, no, he's a midfielder, it's not going to be him. Fellaini number 10, wow, that would be enough to make you cry, really. But if Mourinho is desperate for Fellaini to stay, what price him saying you can have the number 10 shirt if you stay? I mean, it's a big shirt to have. It's a big shirt to have, and would Fellaini take it? I mean, would he? Would Mourinho dare do it? I think he would. Would the club let him do it? Maybe not. But when you look around the club at the moment, do we have a player that's capable of fulfilling and occupying? I mean, it's not the number 7 shirt, but it's a big shirt. Could Alexis Sanchez move from 7 to 10 and occupy the number 10, leave the number 7 shirt free for someone like Griezmann? He could. I don't think he will. The number 7 shirt is the most iconic shirt in England, and certainly one of the best in the world. Alexis Sanchez has been given that honour. Do you think he's going to move and leave it vacant within a few months? I think Alexis Sanchez is our number 7, and we need to accept that. So who's number 10? Well, it ain't going to be Sanchez. I can't see Lukaku moving out of number 9 because he's a number 9. Martial, Rashford potentially. Lingard shouldn't be anywhere near it. Fellaini, nightmare situation, and Mata's not going to move. So who's going to be our number 10 next year? It does lean towards the fact that maybe we will go and sign somebody. See, by deduction of looking at it like that, then surely we will do. I mean, people mention like Angel Gomez, of course. Hopefully he will be a good number 10 for United in the future, but he's not going to get it yet. Same for Chong. Andres Pereira. People did mention Andres Pereira. I think there's a breakdown in the relationship there between him and Mourinho. Andres Pereira wanted to go and play first team football, and Mourinho wanted him to stay at United. Would he have got first team opportunities? Debatable. I would lean towards I don't think he would have done. Having said that, Pereira at Valencia, it's been a mixed bag. He has started games. He's now stuck on the bench again. I think Mourinho will listen to offers for Pereira, and I think that's a big shame because I think he has the potential. But what I said last summer was he was in La Liga last year. Why did he go to La Liga again? If his future is in the Premier League, then he should have been loaned to someone like Bournemouth this year, like Jose Mourinho has at Palace. It's a huge ask to say to Andres Pereira, come back and play in the Premier League next year for Manchester United. I can't see it happening. I do rate him. I still think he can be a very good player. He's only just turned 22, I think, in January. Still can be a very, very good player, but I think he'll get moved on, and I'm a big fan of Pereira. He's not starting for Valencia at the moment, Paul JM11, and he has just been injured as well, Jose now. But Valencia have done very, very well this season. V-Man says it will be Fellaini. Isco's the man, says Javert Arpan. But yeah, I do think that this is going to be. I think when you look at it, we will probably go and sign an attacker, and that is exciting to me because midfield is what we've got to do. But I do think we need to go. Can we rely on our front 6 at the moment of Lingard, Mata, Rashford, Martial, Sanchez and Lukaku? And when I say that 6, you think, God, we're going to add somebody else. Somebody's got to go. Who's going to go from there to bring somebody else in? Because that knocks us up to 7 attackers. And there might only be 3 or 4 positions. I would hope Mata will stay. We know Lingard's going to stay. I would hope Martial and Rashford are going to stay. Sanchez is going to stay. Lukaku's going to stay. So you can sort of see why we might not sign somebody. But I can't see out of those 6 anybody that really can fill the number 10 shirt. And if you're Mourinho and you've got 6 attackers and none of them really fits the number 10 shirt, you've got to sacrifice one and bring another number 10 in. Who's going to get sacrificed? I think Mata's probably going to be the one. I can see Mata getting moved on this summer. I don't think he would be silly enough to get rid of Martial. Lingard, I probably would move on, but he's not going to. Lukaku, Rashford, Sanchez are obviously going to stay. So for me, I'd be looking at moving on Lingard, but he won't do that. So I don't want him to lose Martial. I don't want Mata to go, but I think he's got to move somebody on to create that, to bring a number 10 in. And I think that will be what the club basically says as well. Because I can't see anyone at this club at the moment capable of filling that number 10 shirt, running around with number 10 on their back for United. You know, if Jesse Lingard's done it, it's like we're Everton. If Fellaini does it, it's like we're Stoke. Mata won't do it because he's 8. Rashford or Martial as number 10 would, I'd be quite encouraged by that. I think there's a future in that. It's a bit of a risk, but there's a future in that. So if it's going to be somebody in the club, Rashford or Martial for me. If we're going external, all bets are off. Could be something amazing like Dybala. Could be something a bit left field, Forsberg, someone like that. Eriksen maybe, I don't know. But do get commenting and let us know who you would give within the club the number 10 shirt, because I think that's the more relevant thing. Mourinho said he's not going to sign an attacker, so who would you give the number 10 shirt to? Do you think there's anybody capable of filling it? And also, who wouldn't you? Ribery's too old, Anioni. I can wear the number 10. Yeah, the thumbnail's right. If you've seen the thumbnail, I'll wear the number 10. And I'll just do it for watch-alongs. Get an unknown from South America, says Javari. Yeah, that goes well. Get Rooney back, says Paul Corcoran. Yeah, if you liked the thumbnail, please do drop a like. I quite enjoyed it. A bit of bounce there. Timo Werner, says Divanash. Yeah, I do like the look of him. Tony Kroos, not really a number 10, Vincent. Lingard, Mata, Pogba, Sanchez, Gomez, Chong. We don't need a 10, says King Kong too. Somebody's got to wear the number 10. You know, we're not necessarily... I don't think most people have fallen into this trap. We're not talking about number 10, the position. We're talking about the number 10 shirt because it's free, because Zlatan's left. Eriksen from Spurs would be fantastic. Why do you not want Jesse Lingard, says Max Gazmalov? It's a good question and I'll answer it. I mean, I just think Jesse Lingard's a squad player. There's something about Jesse Lingard. I think his social media publication of himself is absolutely world class. He's brilliant at it, isn't he? I disagreed with what he did last night. The Sterling thing is just thick. Why are you messing around with a Man City fan? I mean, of course he's friends with him, that's fine, but why are you putting videos out of it? I mean, it's just so naive that it's not going to wind up some United fans that you're messing around with a Man City fan. But Lingard on the pitch, I think he's very, very lucky at the moment. The Brighton game, he was invisible. I think he's been very average since January, and I think he's a squad player. I think these people who call him Messi Lingard and think he's a first team player, I think you're just falling for the hype of, oh, Messi. I think you're falling into the Messi Lingard trap. He's not been very good for 2 months. He wasn't very good for the first 3 months of the season. I think he's just an average player. And he's not a player who should wear a number 10 shirt for Manchester United. I think he's overhyped. I really do. I think he's a really good squad player in the way people like... We've had squad players in the past like Danny Welbeck, people like that. I don't really see anything in Lingard that makes me think he's a first team player for United. And that's not me. I'm not picking on Lingard. I think he's been very good at times this season. But I find it really funny that people talk about Lingard like he's a first teamer for United. I think Lingard's a first team number 10 for Everton. He's not a top 4 number 10. He's not a top 4 winger. He's a squad player, and that's what he is for me. But, you know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. Number 10 is for a leader, says Abhishek. Chris Smalling, number 10. Kwame, I call him Messi Lingard for the bants. I think most people do, to be fair. Agreed, he should never have lost the number 9 shirt in the first place. I think they're talking about Martial. Lingard is a squad player, says Ronak. Yeah, he is, and a very good squad player at that. 14 is a good number for Lingard, says Alex Shrood. He's way better than Welbeck, the Bambi and I, says Double Rover. I'm not convinced Lingard is better than Welbeck, you know. I'm old enough to remember what Welbeck was like at United, and I don't think Welbeck's, you know, he can't hit the ocean from a boat, but Welbeck's not a bad footballer. I don't think there's not a lot between Lingard and Welbeck. There really isn't. If you've seen them both play, I don't believe there is. Moada loves Lingardino. I get why people love Lingard. I've got no problem with that. I don't mind, you know, it's not for me to mind anyway, but I don't mind that people do love him for that. But he is a squad player. He's not a first teamer. Welbeck is alright, says Liam. He's gone downhill since he gone to Arsenal. At United he was alright, he just couldn't finish. Willian, says Michael Van Gerwen. Yep, decent shouts. Dybala, says AS7 Alexi. Shaqiri being mentioned again. Gorty there. Goldbridge, why don't you talk Pogba's number 10, says DJ Chahal. Well, he could wear the number 10. He could wear the number 10, but he's a midfielder really, isn't he? Asensio, he would cost a lot of money. Short memory, says King Kong 2. Who do I think is going to be the number 10, says Matt Thompson. Put me on the spot. Okay, if we're going to sign a number 10, I think it will be Dybala. If we're going to keep a number 10 within the squad, I think it will be Rashford or Martial. That's the logical choice. I don't think anybody else really pulls it off. I think it would have to be Martial or Rashford. So Martial or Rashford internally, externally, I think it would be Dybala. Ivan says, I hate Messi Lingard fans, delusional 12-year-olds. Pulisic is my ideal. I'll never let that dream die, says Andrew Southwick. He'd be fantastic for the American market, and he's a very good player. And he can play anywhere across the front three. Thiago from Bayern, says Rohu. Rashford. A few people are saying Rashford. Milankovic-Savic, number 10, Luca. Yeah, you know what? He could do. We could sign a midfielder who wears the number 10 shirt. Milankovic-Savic is a good call, actually. I wish I'd mentioned that earlier. He's a good call. My throat's paying up. I'm going to have to end it. Otherwise, I'm just going to end up coughing. I'm recovering from a cold this week. Please do drop a like on the video. Tonight, there is no 8 o'clock show on the United Stand, but I am live at 8 o'clock tonight. I've dropped the link in the video description for you, and I will put an eye in the top corner that you can go to it. England versus Holland watch-along I'm doing tonight. People might say, why? There's a World Cup in the summer. There's going to be a few United players playing. Jesse Lingard, Ashley Young, Marcus Rashford. So I want to have a watch of England and see what they're like for the World Cup. That's coming up this summer, and I'll be doing a lot of World Cup watch-alongs for That's Football. So link in the video description. I'll be live around 7:30, 7:45, doing England versus Holland watch-along. Thanks everyone for watching. Do join me tonight. The reality is, it's not going to be a nail-biter. There'll be a lot of Q&A, a lot of banter, a lot of chat. So if you're free around 8 o'clock tonight, get yourself onto That's Football. Link in the video description. We'll have a bit of a chat, a beer and all that jazz. England versus Holland. But thanks everyone for watching. Normal content coming up over the weekend. We'll have something for you in the day tomorrow. Saturday Night Live, Sunday Night Live, probably a day show on Sunday. So lots to keep you informed on the United Stand with. Thanks for watching. See you tonight on That's Football. Link in the video description. England versus Holland. Fosu Mensa for Holland as well. Bloody hell, you've got to watch it. Fosu Mensa for Holland.